Hello, my name is Katie O'Brien Ceccarini, and I am a first-time author located in Denver, Colorado. And my new book, Fearless Feedback, Everything Managers Have Never Been Taught About Feedback. So what is it about? It is a practical, no-nonsense guide to help managers have great conversations without losing the relationship. So it is highly practical and tactical, teaching all the things that we're never taught as people managers who are expected to manage performance and keep our people engaged and offer career development. But we're never taught how to have those conversations in a way that is actually building trust with people, sends a message of good intent, and actually drives behavior change in a positive way. So this book is about equipping managers with the tools to have great conversations. So I'm often asked what inspired me to write this book. Well, it all started when I was a first-time manager. And one thing I write about in the book is about how I had a family come to me complaining about one of our part-time staff. And the complaint was that she was grouchy and the kids didn't like her. So I went to my program director and I said, Lydia, how am I supposed to give this feedback? And she said, oh yeah, just share it next time she comes in. Me as a new manager, I didn't want to send a message that I didn't know how to do that. So I just said, okay, makes sense. I had no idea and I was petrified. And guess what? The conversation didn't go well. I put it off. And then when I brought it up, it was not in a way that was actually going to drive true behavior change for this employee. So that's what started it. And I was fortunate as my career progressed that I worked under the guidance of a really impactful leader, and she was a great conversationalist. So feedback was no longer daunting when I received it from her. And that taught me a powerful lesson. And now I realize as an executive coach and someone who works on focusing to build management and leadership effectiveness that most managers don't have that benefit. So I wrote this book so that I can have fewer managers in the world feeling like feedback is daunting and feeling like it's not effective. That is the purpose of Fearless Feedback. Now, when I think about what are the tools that are in this book that really make it different, first is my framework. And the framework for the Fearless Feedback conversation is mindset, relationship, delivery. When you operate at the intersection of these three, when you come into a conversation standing firm in the mindset of, I have information that's going to help this person be their best, your conversation is already going to be better because you have started from a place of really believing that you have conviction in your message and you're coming with good intent. And then relationship. This is building a strong, intentional relationship where trust is the foundation. And also, when you're in that conversation, how you are deliberately preserving the trust and the safety while you are in communication, while you're in this interaction. And then the third component is delivery. And that's the part that everybody focuses on of what should I say? How should I say it? Well, yes, I have frameworks for that. And yes, this book is going to give you a ton of guidance. And in fact, 2 chapters are dedicated to actually real scenarios with real sample language and language that I have used and had success with. But the real thing with delivery is that you can flub your words if your mindset and your relationship are strong. So my favorite tool in the book is just the starting place, which is Fearless Feedback lives at the intersection of mindset, relationship, and delivery. So one of the benefits that managers are going to feel when they read this book is increased confidence and competence, because managers are going to get the answers to the questions that no one gives them. So when I think about the number of managers who don't really receive guidance about what to do after a feedback conversation, I got you covered. I have that in there. And what to do when you receive secondhand feedback. So feedback comes to you from someone else. You didn't witness it. Should you pass it along? How do you do that in a way that makes the person feel invested in as opposed to spoken about? Or even, what do you do when someone's life is falling apart and their performance is starting to suffer at work? Can you address their performance when they have things outside of work that are tough? All of that is included because that is everything managers have never been taught about feedback. So I hope that readers reading this book really feel a shift in their relationship with feedback. And that starts with changing how you think about it. So we are oftentimes taught that, oh, feedback is a gift. Well, I say not all feedback is a gift. And there are many components to it, which I get into and you'll have to read about. But for managers reading this to really have this shift in thinking, wow, I'm empowered when I have these conversations. And when I have these conversations, I'm helping people be the best version of themselves at work. What a gift. So changing your relationship with feedback is one of my top goals with this book. Now, I also get asked, what are some books that I've recently read and I loved? Well, I have a couple to show you. First, Cutthroat. So I picked this up at Boulder Bookstore on Pearl Street. So grateful for them. They are also carrying Fearless Feedback. So thank you to Boulder Bookstore. Cutthroats is a wonderful book around actually an attorney who finds a dead body while fly fishing and then is on trial. I won't spoil it, but that's one of them. Another is Remarkably Bright Creatures. This one was just such a beautiful feel good, and this notion of this octopus that really has heart and feels connection to a woman working in the aquarium. So really wonderful read. And last, also in the leadership realm, is a new book, also published by two women based in Denver, Still Human. And this is about how can we maintain our humanity, keep our human edge, as they call it, in this AI transformation, as AI is really changing the way work is done and what work is done by machine versus human, and how to maintain your humanity as a leader, because frankly, it's even more important. So their approach is really in line with my approach of caring deeply for people, being highly invested in them, and making feedback a generative conversation. This is not a monologue. This is for their development, and you get to co-create action steps to help them succeed. So I would love to read a passage from the book. And this is from chapter 2. And chapter 2 is mindset. And this is where I start to really get into the Fearless Feedback framework and want to read a couple of passages for you. So, Fearless Feedback is about saying what ought to be said without fear of damaging your relationship. There are 3 elements that go into this model: mindset, relationship, and delivery. When you operate at the intersection of these 3, you become the manager who is known for delivering great team performance, developing strong team members, and creating an engaging culture of safety and growth. The first place to start is mindset. My starting place for getting my head in the game for feedback conversation is my leadership style, which is be human with standards. In 2019, I was interviewing to fill the manager training role on my team. I was looking for someone who could take over running monthly manager training and to develop a leadership development program for high potential individual contributors. I interviewed Andrea and ultimately hired her, and she did a fantastic job. Fast forward to January 2021, when I was leaving my role as head of learning and development. In our one-on-one meeting, Andrea said to me, "You probably don't remember this, but when you interviewed me, I asked you what your leadership style was." I responded, "Yeah? And what did I say?" Giving her a smile because I genuinely didn't remember the moment, Andrea said, You told me your style was human, that you meet people where they are and believe that work is a part of life, not your whole life. And it was the moment I knew I wanted to work for you. To tell you my heart was bursting with warm fuzzies would be an understatement. I hadn't remembered that moment, and to know how much one moment, one response can change someone and impact them was a blessing. As the years have progressed, I've now consciously modified my leadership style to this: be human with standards. Here's why. I don't fundamentally believe people wake up and think to themselves, let me just be mediocre. It's my experience that people want to do their best, be their best, and make themselves and others proud. Through that lens, I feel it's my responsibility to hold people to the standards I know they're capable of. Doing anything less is a disservice to them and disrespectful to their talents. In the day-to-day, I bring this leadership style to life by funneling everything through the following 3 guiding principles. These shape my mindset, enabling me to step fully into the fearless feedback framework. Number 1, care deeply. Number 2, hold a high bar. Number 3, focus on strengths and energizing work. And then the chapter continues by diving into each of those and how you can bring that practically into feedback conversations. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. I'm grateful to do this Q&A, and please reach out with any other additional thoughts. My direct email address is katie@enduranceboss.com. And if you want to check out the book's website, it is fearlessfeedbackbook.com. All right, thanks so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.